Public domain Christmas song. Public domain Christmas song. Public domain Christmas song. Everybody sing along. Public domain Christmas song. 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 Public domain Christmas song.
Yay!
Hey, Courtney.
Hey.
What a year it has been.
That is the understatement of the year.
Mm-hmm. But our spirits aren't down. We've been out here caroling to people and singing public domain Christmas songs.
Ah, yes, you have.
Yeah, like this old favorite. Public domain Christmas song. Public domain Christmas song. Public domain Christmas song. Public domain Christmas song. Come on.
Yeah. We're good on Christmas songs. I think.
Domain Christmas song. We're here for the holidays. We're going to be looking at a kaiju-related
adjacent
kaiju tenuously connected thing. And that thing is the 1964 Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Rankin Bass special. We have a few tenuous connections to the world of kaiju with this.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
Rankin Bass made the King Kong
show and King Kong Escapes, yeah. And also the abominable snowman in this is something of a kaiju.
It's giant.
It's giant. It's kind of a gorilla monkey thing.
It's cute. I like it.
It has a kaiju nickname, Bumble.
Yeah. I wish they didn't freaking destroy its ability to hunt forever.
Defang it, but now it's a pet, so they can feed it.
Rude. No. Cruel and unusual punishment.
That Bumble's been humbled. So mighty humble Bumble.
Blech.
That's not the only casual cruelty in this. Let's go ahead and let's give a recap of kind of what happens in this.
Well, from the moment Rudolph is born, his father hates him. I didn't see this till I was an adult, and I was shocked at the level of bullying. In the song, they make fun of him, but
public domain. This song is not in the public domain. They used to laugh and call him names.
Yes, but the level to which people are terrible, Santa and reindeer are terrible to him is horrendous.
So I'm a huge fan of all the Rankin Bass Christmas specials. This one included, even though, yes, this Santa is a monster.
He's such a douche. I hate this Santa.
The worst Santa. I think the only Santa who's comparably bad is probably Paul Giamatti and Fred Claus, which I just saw 2 weeks ago and hated. And even the one good moment in it is because he was it comes about because he's rectifying a thing where he was bad at being Santa.
Yeah.
So
but this is so Santa supposedly sees you while you're sleeping and knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So why the hell didn't he do anything to stop these awful bullies?
Well, even before we get to that, let's talk about the real star of this. Not Rudolph, not Santa, not even Hermes or Yukon Cornelius.
Is it the elephant with spots on it?
Well, no, they give a great performance. I'm talking Burl Ives as Sam the Snowman.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, like, that is... What a life, you know? Walking around Christmas Town, and you're... Narrating with your neat little bowler hat and your banjo over your shoulder.
That is literally what Robert is like in real life. I swear to you.
This movie was very influential on me. But yeah, he's like, you mean to tell me you've never heard the story of Rudolph? Well, grab an ice block and lend an ear.
That except with Godzilla. That's Robert.
You never heard the story of Godzilla? I'm working on a presentation now that I'll probably be giving semi-professionally. That is a history of Godzilla that's in development.
Yes.
Right now, and it's I might start it like that if I get any bookings around Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I just love how excited you get. That was a dig, but it was also like it was in jest, but it's one of the things that I love about you.
Well, thank you, darling.
I didn't mean it to be douchey. I didn't mean to be a Santa from this movie.
This movie's Santa. When growing up with this, it never occurred to me how cruel Santa was, because it was Santa, right? It's presented as being Santa. So Santa's cruelty never entered into it for me as a kid. As I got older, I was like, damn, this guy is not nice. Mm-hmm. Which flies directly in the face of all the other Rankin Bass Christmas specials.
Yep.
I especially love...
was this the first one?
This was the first one. But I especially love Santa Claus is Coming to Town and The Year Without a Santa Claus, where Mickey Rooney is Santa. And I love Frosty the Snowman, where
Frosty the Snorman.
Frosty the Snorman.
I love it.
Oatmeal!
Yes.
That's another whole other thing. But
I just love the kid who says oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
For Frosty's name, and everybody's like, no! It was so cute, and he probably just finished eating some because he was waiting for school in the morning. And it's just this little high squeaky voice where he's like, oatmeal? And everybody just hates him for it.
And then one of the kids in that scene is like an adult, a baritone. He's like, oatmeal. But anyway, Santa's really cool in that too.
Yeah.
So this, I have a theory that this is Santa's oldest son, and he's really bad at it. He's not very good at being Santa. And he steps down after this whole situation. I don't know. That's just my headcanon because this don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rudolph's dad is like, what the hell's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And Rudolph.
And then Santa literally comes in seconds after this adorable baby is born.
It's like, what's his problem?
Like, no wonder his dad is a douche, because he's probably raised by this Santa.
What's your kid's problem, man? Oh, don't worry, he'll grow out of it. He better, because I got things to do.
Yeah, so does Rudolph, and not lighting your sleigh. Sorry.
And then he sings a legitimately...
Not sorry.
He sings a legitimately great song about how he's Santa and he's got Santa things to do.
I guess.
I love all the songs in this. Johnny Marks wrote the songs.
Well, and then they sing that whole little cute song that We Are Santa's elf song.
With Buddy Holly in there.
What?
They're one of the elves looks like Buddy Holly to me. He's the one who.
I was like, But he died.
Yeah, he came back from the dead to,
Root.
It was a Christmas miracle.
Like, anyway, you could tell they worked really hard on that song, and then Santa's just like, it stinks.
He says, it needs work. I've got to go.
Yeah, and then the boss, like, immediately takes it out on everybody when it's obvious that Santa is just...
Santa's a jerk.
An angry, burnt-out jerk.
Yeah, this Santa was never supposed to do it, but also I kind of get, like, hey, it's the busiest time of the year.
Well, he seems to say that he has a lot of stuff to do, but he sure doesn't seem to be doing it. He just goes around
singing diss tracks about newborn reindeer.
Lord.
And we meet one of the secondary characters, Hermie the elf, who does not like to make toys, did not show up for the elf practice.
Is a psychopath who pulls out teeth from monsters.
That's all he thinks of for dentistry. That's all he thinks dentistry is, I think. Is ripping teeth out of heads.
There's like no blood or anything.
No,
like
just teeth. Just teeth.
What a mess.
Hermie is such a weird little guy.
Yeah.
Like he could, like George Lucas would want him in a movie.
A weird little guy.
Yeah, George Lucas loves his weird little guys.
I don't think Mike's picking that up.
That's okay. It's not that. I mean, it is one of the funniest bits I have in my belt, but that's okay. But my point with Hermie is, I don't think he knows anything. He doesn't want to be a dentist. He just wants to cause pain.
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
He's a nut. And the head elf is also a jerk. Like, everyone's such a jerk in this.
Yep.
And Hermie sings this little song about nobody likes me, so I'm gonna run away. And then,
I'm gonna run away and commit crime.
I wish. That would be a much more, like I love this mostly out of nostalgia now, but that would be a much more compelling story. They form a violence gang.
Like, and then Rudolph is flying, and fun fact, I was watching it fully for the first time whenever Robert and I started dating. Like, we had been dating.
This was our second Christmas together. We were more serious. And...
Yeah. No, this was when we were just dating.
Yeah,
or we had just become serious.
Well, this was the first year we were. Anyway, none of that's important. The important thing is Courtney had never seen it, and when she had the first time she told me I was cute, I said, "I'm cute. I'm cute." She said, "I'm cute" to her.
When I had taken a screenshot of that scene, and you can see his text message up at the top of it, and it's precious.
Courtney, I think that might have even been why we watched it then, because you were like, okay. But
I think I was going to send it to him or something.
One thing I wanted to circle back on with Hermie is before, like when his scene ends after he sings his little "Everyone Hates Me" song, we cut back to Sam the Snowman, and he just shrugs and goes, "Such is the life of an elf." And I say that all the time.
Yeah.
When things are kind of crummy.
Yeah, like this year. In a lot of ways.
A lot of ways. Y'all, I haven't been keeping it a secret, y'all. Some of the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We have each other, and that makes us very happy.
So, Ho, ho, ho. What do we get next? Oh, yeah, so the flying practice.
Yes. So he makes a friend. And probably have these other reindeer even seen him? Because his dad obviously hates him so much.
He's making him wear a fake nose over his real nose.
And then he is sort of flirting with that girl.
Her name is Clarice.
Clarice, hello. And
yes, the famous quote from from Silence of the Lambs. Clarice, hello.
well, everybody thinks it's Luke, I'm your father, and it's no, I'm your father.
No,
so people, yeah,
it's not true.
So people mess up the orders. I just thought of that afterwards. Lord.
Clarice, hello.
No. The song that she sings is so cute.
Well, and she sings it after, Rudolph's nose falls off.
And everybody's a jerk.
And his fake nose falls off, I should say.
Yeah.
This isn't a Michael Jackson situation.
Rude.
No, his fake nose falls off while he's flying, and everyone was so impressed with his flying, and they're like, his nose is kind of different.
Yeah, like, it makes a cute sound, and it blinks. Yeah, it makes like a little trumpet sound. Like he's sneezing or something.
And, you get a line from the song, one of the reindeers like, shiny, I'd even say glows. And Santa has been watching, and when Rudolph's nose shows up, he tells Rudolph's dad, "You should be ashamed of yourself." And he had a good takeoff too. Like,
I hate them so much, guys. Like, I don't like this movie. I don't enjoy it. It's fun to make fun of. The songs are good, and there are some cute elements to it, but everyone in this is awful.
But so after that, Rudolph runs off into the woods to cry and be alone, understandably.
Yes, and his
and
Clarice's dad won't let.
Well, she follows him.
Yeah,
and she sings that song Courtney was talking about. It's called "There's Always Tomorrow," and it's a sweet song.
It makes me cry. It's very sweet,
song.
Especially when you've had a terrible year.
Yeah. And then after the song, and she's like, "No, Rudolph, I still think you're cool. Like, you're still the same guy that you were 10 minutes ago before your nose fell off."
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think you're neat.
Yeah.
And then her dad shows up and he's like, "Hi, what are you doing? Get out of here. You don't want my daughter hanging out with a red-nosed reindeer."
Everyone is...
And the venom with which he says that, it's like the N-word with a hard R. It's like, a red-nosed reindeer.
God, it's rough.
And then after that, Hermes shows up, literally just pops his head out of a snowbank.
And they're like, "Hey, everybody hates us. Let's run away."
Let's be buddies.
Which, fair.
And then they sing a song. It depends on which version you're watching.
Misfits.
One song is "We're a Couple of Misfits," and the other one is "Fame and Fortune."
That one goes with the Violence Gang one, I guess.
Yeah. But they just decide to go and be weirdos together. Like, literally, Hermes says, "Let's be misfits together." Like, what does that even mean? You gonna start a band? You got something to say?
No. I think that would be a good band, and that is also how I've made most of my friends. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So yeah, they sing one of the two songs, both of which are pretty good. And then they what do they do then? Is that when they get attacked by the
That's when... Do they get attacked and then Yukon Cornelia saves them?
Yeah, I think so. I think they hide in a snowbank and they get stuck, and Yukon Cornelius pulls them out.
Which, like, he has the coolest job ever. It's just mining, or not mining, because mining is not...
He's a prospector.
Yeah.
He's a prospector, and he's looking for alternatively gold, silver...
Peppermint.
Or peppermint.
Peppermint. I love that. That makes me so happy. Also, he has dogs of all sorts pulling his sled.
And it's really funny because the dogs up front are tiny and they actually don't do anything. Like they ride in front. They ride on.
Yes. It's precious and that is funny.
There are lots of little humorous touches like that throughout this whole thing. And that's one of my favorites. The little dogs. Yukon Cornelius reminds me very much of a man I used to go to church with. He's since passed away, but he was a big, loud guy with a red beard and was very enthusiastic about things. And he talked like this. Mm-hmm. And his name was Dennis Brown, and he was wonderful. And Yukon Cornelius always reminds me of Mr. Brown. But one of my favorite things with Yukon Cornelius is he will scream, "Silver!" or "Gold!" and throw his pickaxe up in the air.
Like it's a graduation cap.
And then when it lands in the snow, and thankfully not in somebody's head...
that we know of. Maybe that's what woke the snow monster up.
And then he picks it up out of the ground and starts licking the tip that fell in the ground. And then he goes, "Nothing, because it doesn't taste ore, I guess." And
that's not how you do it. You just throw it.
For a better example of how to search for gold, to prospect for gold, see the wonderful short All Gold Canyon in the Coen Brothers film The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, starring Tom Waits as an old prospector.
Robert's fave.
He's one of our special guests for this holiday special. Along with Vincent Price and Dolly Parton.
Paul Lind.
And Paul, thank you for having me, Robert and Courtney. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. The dream.
So they bum around with Yukon Cornelius for a while, and they come to the Island of Misfit Toys, which also has a great song. I've always had some issues, though, with the cast of characters on the Island of Misfit Toys.
Just don't put jelly in your frickin' pistol.
So let's start with Charlie in the box.
Okay.
Okay? Charlie, you can lie to people. Like, just tell them your name is Jack if that's such a big deal.
Yep. Just say Charlie's your middle name.
They're like, when Rudolph says, "Let me guess your name. It's Jack, right?" And he's like, "No, it's Charlie." You didn't have to tell him that.
You're doing a lot of Jimmy Stewart impressions here.
I know, I don't know.
Continue, sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
It's Charlie.
Or more like Don Knotts there.
Andy? And it's like, just say your name's Jack.
Yeah.
Like, no one's stopping you. What's wrong with that doll? The little girl doll? They never say what it is in the song. She's just there. What is her deal?
She killed a man.
She actually wrote Folsom Prison Blues. It was based off her life. It was autobiographical.
Well, as a person who loves mid-century toys, she probably did something like not cry water tears or something weird like...
If, like, her dress had green in it, then we could be like, oh, it was laced with arsenic. You know, like something. Why is she there? She's gotta be, like, a serial killer or something.
I don't know. Maybe someone was mean to her like they were to Rudolph.
And, of course, there is the water pistol that shoots jelly.
The stupidest.
Just rinse yourself out, man!
Literally, you're on an island.
Like, you... And the cowboy who rides an ostrich also, like, just get off the ostrich!
Yeah, I used to work at a place that had ostriches. It was like a zoo kind of thing. And ostriches would never let you anywhere.
It was
near.
a drive-through zoo, and it was called the Drive Zoo.
No advertising.
The Drive Zoo.
Yeah.
But Google the Drive Zoo.
But those things are fast, and no way in hell would they ever let anyone near the top of their bodies.
And polka dotted elephants.
It's so cute.
Come on.
That is the cutest thing. Like, I don't know any kid who would not like that little elephant.
So, like, those toys, all their problems are very solvable.
Yeah. There's the bird that swims, which, like, that sounds like something that would be really popular now.
Well, like, you ever heard of a penguin, brother?
Indeed.
Brother?
Or, like, any bird that lives by the ocean.
These toys have no reason to be abandoned.
Yeah.
Interesting note, though, about the Island of Misfit toys in the original... we'll come to that at the end.
Like, did the evil Santa put them there? Because I could see him doing that.
Well, King Moonracer, who there's a whole other debate about is he a toy or not. He's a lion with wings. He's like a griffin.
Oh, yeah.
He's the king...
I forgot about that guy.
King of the Island of Misfit toys. Mm-hmm. And he won't let Rudolph and Yukon and Psycho Hermes stay there.
For probably good reason. He would wake up with no teeth. Jesus.
I was afraid you might eat someone. So he says, no, you can't stay here because you're not toys. This island is only for toys who are unloved. He does, I think, explicitly say that all these toys were rejected because of their deformities.
I feel like that's a Santa thing.
If they were rejected by the kids they were given to...
They should have formed a rebellion and had a coup.
Well, I was going to say...
Misfits Revolution.
I was going to say, especially the water pistol full of jelly. Like, the kid did that then. Yeah. He stuck you in the jelly jar and squeezed the trigger 10 times to get you full of jelly. And then he shot you with the jelly. He shot the jelly out of you. And then he was like, this is stinky and messy. I don't want it. Or maybe his parents took him away and were like, Jimmy, what the hell?
Yeah, they got mad at him. Yeah, like, are these rejected by the children? Or are they rejected by...
I think he says they're rejected by the children. I think King Moonracer says that. But maybe... Hold on. Back to the water pistol that shoots jelly. What if you put water in it and it turns it into jelly?
Oh.
Like some sort of Jesus water pistol.
Whoa.
Then that can... You can solve world hunger with that.
Yeah.
Like, just squirt that on
I mean, not totally. But it could help. I mean, it could stretch a check.
Yeah. Courtney, I couldn't afford to get us dinner, but I found our jelly pistol.
Oh, thank God. We're having PB&J tonight. Oh, now that sounds sexual. Don't do that. Cut it. Cut.
So they leave, or they're allowed to stay the night. And Rudolph is like, hey guys, this is all my fault, especially that we're on the run from the abominable snowman because it has seen my nose. which is bright and shiny and glows.
In case you hadn't seen it.
And Yukon is like, that's stupid. Don't be stupid. And Hermes is like, right. Don't be stupid. I want to take your teeth. Stay here with me so I can take your teeth.
What if he's the tooth fairy?
That would be funny.
And that's why he wants all the teeth.
What if he's the tooth fairy's What if he's the tooth fairy's illegitimate son?
Tooth fairy, like Crunch Fairy.
Captain Crunch Tooth Fairy.
I think he is the first tooth fairy.
Like he invented the position?
Yes, because he wanted to do something like Santa.
And he loved taking teeth.
He couldn't make it as an elf, I guess.
He loved taking teeth out of mouths.
Yeah. So
let me in there.
He just took what he loved and monetized it,
he said,
essentially.
Here's my deal with you, children of the world. When your teeth fall out, give them to me. And I'll leave you some money. And if you don't, I will come into your mouth at night and take your teeth.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. Remains to be seen. That is a Rankin Bass special that I haven't seen yet. So then Rudolph goes off on his own and becomes a man, Tanta. Which is a reference to Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So either you've seen it and you get the reference, you've seen it and you don't remember the reference, or you haven't seen it and you don't get the reference. In any case, I'm a man now, Tanta. So Rudolph grows up and goes back home because he realizes he instead of sticking up for himself, like, it's a little victim blamey, honestly.
Very. And that is something that he will need to go to therapy for.
Yeah, but he goes home and he's like, it's interesting because he does run into his childhood bullies, some of them, and they're one of them calls him Old Neon Knob. Look who it is! Old Neon Knob!
What?
And and he's just like, shut the hell up, and walks away. Which, I mean, I, as a kid, learned very quickly that sometimes people just didn't like you and would be jerks about it.
Yeah, because people are racist, even to children.
So I very quickly got that attitude of, hey, shut the hell up. I related to Rudolph a lot as a kid. If you listen to the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla episode, which I recommend you do, it is a little bit on the long side.
You put a lot of work into that
Not
one.
as long as our Godzilla's Revenge episode. But I related to Rudolph a lot, so this always been special to me. Anyway, Rudolph goes home and finds out that his father, who among other great qualities is a misogynist, because we get a flashback to him going to look for Rudolph. Rudolph's mom wanted to come with him, and he said, no, this is man's work.
Ew.
So then...
She's the one who actually loves him.
I know. And then Rudolph's mom and Clarice, hello,
Yeah. Clarice, hello.
go after the dad leaves anyway. Like, in the flashback, it's immediately after, because it's just being narrated over. They go to look for him. So then Santa shows up in the cave when Rudolph is looking for them, and he's like, they're gone, Rudolph. They've been gone for months. Out looking for you.
Again, blaming him.
And so Rudolph promises to find them all, and he does. And they are being attacked once again by the abominable snowman.
Which, I mean, they're the abominable snowman's natural prey.
Sorry. I didn't realize you were an expert on North Pole ecology, Courtney.
I mean, what would they not be?
Well, Yukon Cornelius does say he's never known a bumble to turn down a pork dinner for venison.
Mm-hmm.
When and that's how they lure. What's his name? The Bumble out. Yukon Cornelius and Hermes Deus Ex Machina to save everyone. Rudolph gets knocked out by the Abominable Snowman immediately.
Poor guy. He's just had such a rough little life.
And they're about to eat him when Yukon Cornelius and Hermes come up with the brilliant plan to lure him out by having Hermes pretend to be a pig. He does the best pig impression I've ever heard by standing outside the cave and going, oink, 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 oink. Oink, oink.
Little did he know he was trapped by a serial killer.
So the Abominable Snowman comes out. They drop a rock on his head.
God.
And rip his teeth out.
Why? It disturbs me to no end.
You see Hermes standing there with the teeth that are half his height. And he's like, haha, my first kill.
Like, I hope you enjoy the memory of the taste of ham. Like,
oink, oink.
God.
And then Yukon Cornelius decides to illustrate that the Abominable Snowman, the Bumble, can't hurt anyone anymore by pushing him off a cliff with his dogs. And all of them, the Bumble, Yukon, the dogs, fall over the side of the cliff. And everyone sadly looks over the side and goes, Yukon! And it gets kind of brushed away with some narration. It's like, yeah, they were all very sad. Anyway, it was Christmas Eve now! And
no wonder my parents never wanted to watch this. So, like, we never grew up watching these Rankin Bass things because my parents were, like, too cool for them, I guess.
I mean, also, wasn't your dad, like, 15 when these
When did they come out?
This one came out in 1964.
Yeah. They would have been, like, 9 or 10. So a little...
They would have been a little too old to be introduced to this.
Yeah.
And, like, when these really hit their height in the 70s, they wouldn't have had the nostalgia for the old ones.
Yeah.
Also, didn't your mom not have a TV for forever?
No, they had one. They just had one black and white TV for a very long time.
So, Rudolph brings everyone home, and everyone's super happy about it. And they start preparing for Christmas Eve. And then Santa's like, hey, I just got the weather report, and it looks like it's going to be kind of cloudy, and I'm tired, and I don't want to go.
There isn't an elf that freaking keeps up with the weather?
Well,
like,
he is handed a weather report by an elf.
Jesus. So, he probably got one every hour that day, and then was like, suddenly like, yeah.
Oh, I do think we did skip over something. Santa is skinny for most of it. For most of this. And they body shame him.
Yeah.
About being skinny throughout.
Maybe that's why he bullies Rudolph.
And he gains weight, like, within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, he's Fat Santa.
Which, like, this whole movie is just, like,
everyone's
body
bullying
shaming.
Everyone. Body
shaming, bullying.
You know, think about it. He's much happier when he's fat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
We do get, while Santa is still skinny, the iconic Rudolph with your nose so bright.
Oh man, I would have punched him in the face.
And I always felt, so the way this scene plays out, Santa comes and announces the weather situation, and everyone's like, oh no, we'll have to cancel Christmas.
It's the North Pole. What the hell do you think is gonna not be snowy? It's not gonna not have a blizzard?
Rudolph is hanging out right next to Santa, just blinking his nose. Mm-hmm. And even when I was a kid, I thought that he was doing it to annoy him. Like that he was just being like, at Santa. Mm-hmm. Y'all couldn't see it, but I was opening and closing my hand like a flashing light in front of my face.
Yeah.
Being Rudolph's nose.
Yep.
And Santa's like, get that thing out of my face.
Get that corn out of my face.
And then he's like, wait, I have an idea. Mm-hmm. Your obnoxiously shiny nose, really greasy. Like, we should get you some Stridex pads. But before that...
Rude.
I think it's shiny enough that we can use it as a flashlight. And Rudolph says it would be an honor.
Which, hell no.
So then, this may have actually happened before, but in my mind it takes place after that.
Boundaries.
There's a knock at the door of the North Pole.
Of the pole.
Uh-huh. And they open the door, and Yukon Cornelius is there with the abominable snowman, who he's got on a leash, and all his dogs are safe.
That was really important to me the first time I saw that movie. I had to know.
And they asked him, how did you survive? And he said, didn't I ever tell you about Bumbles? Bumbles bounce. So my question is, if Bumbles bounce, did it how far was that drop? They had time to look down, think they were dead, and leave before they bounced back up. And if that is the case...
Oh, I thought... I took that to be when they fell, they landed on Bumble and they bounced.
The Bumble is what he calls the abominable snowman.
Yeah. I thought he just bounced off his tummy into the snow.
I always thought that it was because they were all grabbing onto him when they pushed him over the cliff.
Jeez.
That he landed on his back and then bounced back up.
No.
like throwing a super ball.
Yes.
That's what I always thought, that it was like a super ball.
I mean, that could be it too.
So how...
No one in this movie has any logic.
So how far down was the drop that either way, there was time for them to see them falling and assume they had been crushed?
Who knows?
And why didn't King Kong bounce?
Aww.
Well, I know in the Dino De Laurentiis version he didn't bounce because they shot him a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Anyway, so then Rudolph and Santa go and fly away to deliver toys. One of the most interesting things about that is the special originally ended with Yukon Cornelius throwing his pickaxe up in the air again, and it comes down, once again, not inside of somebody's head, but into the ground, and he finds a vein of peppermint. And that's what he's going to mine. That's how he's going to make his fortune now. And then the credits rolled. But kids wrote angry letters to NBC saying, what about the Island of Misfit Toys?
Was it NBC or CBS?
It was NBC initially, I want to
Okay.
say. And then CBS got the rights, and I think they still have the rights to air it. Universal owns them now. Which means if the Dark Universe ever comes back, we could get this version of Santa and the Abominable Snowman.
Aww.
Anyway.
Next big kaiju.
So they kids got upset that Santa didn't go back for the Misfit toys. So they tacked on a scene where Santa does go back. And that has a line my mom says all the time, which is, "Ready, Santa!" Because after they load up all the misfit toys, Santa says, "Ready, Rudolph?" And Rudolph goes, "Ready, Santa." And so now whenever you ask my mom if she's ready, and she is, she says, "Ready, Santa." It's great. It's something to see. Something to behold.
Indeed.
We also get... so now the new end credits that you'll find with it are things on... just on the screen. Originally they were on presents that were being dropped down from the sleigh. But now we have the Misfit toys being dropped down with umbrellas to float down to their homes. There's an important detail here, though. The bird that can't fly, but swims, is not given an umbrella. Because he's a bird. But he can't fly, Courtney.
Oh.
He can't fly!
He was murdered.
They killed him. They murdered him.
Oh my god, this movie is a horror movie.
They threw him out
This is
of a sleigh
Christmas horror.
flying high enough in the sky that it can get around the world.
You guys should just save yourself the misery of watching this bully movie and watch A Year Without Santa Claus so you can hear the Heat Miser and the Snow Miser song, which is the greatest Xmas song of movies, I think.
No, because Muppet Christmas Carol exists.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I sing this one more.
You do. There is also... You should watch Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Rankin Bass. To me, that is the best one.
Yeah. It's very thinly veiled Holocaust like analogy there.
That they just kind of drop.
Yeah.
Like halfway through.
So like it would have been people working on this that had fought or were refugees from that time.
So, that one is my favorite. This one I love out of nostalgia. It has a lot of problems, which we have just spent the past...
Problematic Rudolph movie. This should be the name of it. The real name.
So, that's the Record All Monsters Christmas special.
We're a little all over the place, and I'm sorry. That's just how we are right now.
Things have been hard this year. We are working on the Terror of Mechagodzilla episode.
Yeah.
Which will be the last regular episode of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by the Rammies.
Woo!
We've lined up some special guests, and the week that the Terror of Mechagodzilla episode comes out, the survey for the Rammies will also go out. So that we can get your answers. And once again, the way that's going to work is we'll put it to a vote. And if there's a tie, Courtney and I will discuss which one we think is the winner. If we can't agree, we'll flip a coin. That's how it worked last year. I think only one thing came down to that.
Yeah. I don't even remember what it was.
I don't either. But, so, we will... Courtney, look at the time. We have to get back to caroling.
I think Mandy needs to go out.
Well, we are outside, Courtney.
Oh, yeah. We got a dog, y'all. This is one of the best things that happened all year.
Yes, her name
She's
is
wonderful.
Mandy. She is
an elderly boxer.
Bulldog mix.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful, and she's sweet, and she's snoring behind me.
Yeah.
We've been sitting here talking in the snow for so long.
So you may occasionally hear her snoring or snorting, and we're not going to edit it out because she's a delight.
We've been sitting here in the snow for so long that she fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to get back to caroling, Courtney.
Sure.
Why don't we leave with everyone's favorite, Good King Wenceslas. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even, brightly shone the moon. You're giving me the no signal? Happy holidays, everyone.
Yes,
Merry
happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah if you celebrate that.
I'm having this come out.
And happy Yule.
Would be in the middle of Hanukkah, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know all of the winter holidays, but happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, a solemn and dignified Ramadan, happy Kwanzaa. Just whatever you celebrate, I hope you have...
Happy winter solstice.
I hope you have a wonderful time with friends, family, chosen family,
Pets,
your support systems, dinosaurs, gorillas,
Godzillas,
your kaiju,
galore.
just take care of yourself. Have a happy holiday, and we will see y'all most likely in the new year.
Yeah.